The story begins with the female lead, Meng, who works as an air traffic controller. Her job involves guiding pilots regarding weather conditions. It's revealed that Meng secretly had a crush on her classmate, Li Fuzheng, who is now a pilot. After their schooling, Fuzheng moved abroad, but Meng hasn't been able to forget him. Because of this, she refuses to marry anyone else. However, her mom tries to convince her, asking, "How long are you going to wait for this guy? You need to move on," insists Meng go on a blind date. Meanwhile, Fuzheng has returned from abroad, and his mom also wants him to get married soon. She urges him to go on a blind date as well. The next day, Meng shows up for the blind date, and to her shock, her date is none other than Fuzheng. Meng can't believe her eyes. Both of them realize that their parents have forced them into this blind date. But Fuzheng speaks to her casually, as if she's just another stranger, leaving Meng surprised that he doesn't recognize her. Back in school, Fuzheng was the popular guy, and while Meng liked him, he never noticed her, even though they were classmates. Meng wants to tell him that they were in the same class, but then Fuzheng has to leave for an important errand and offers to drive Meng home, but she declines, saying, "I don't want to trouble you." Soon after, Meng hears about their upcoming class reunion. The next day, she attends the reunion, and most of her classmates don't recognize her because now she looks absolutely stunning. One of her classmates tries to bring her down, accusing Meng of having plastic surgery, but Meng snaps back, saying it's pretty clear who had the surgery and who didn't, making everyone laugh at the girl. Shortly after, Fuzheng arrives and sees Meng there. All their classmates gush about how Fuzheng is such an accomplished pilot, and then Fuzheng surprises everyone by saying that Meng is an approach controller. Everyone is impressed. Meng asks him, "How did you know?" And Fuzheng explains, "My mom told me about you during the blind date." And then he adds, "I didn't know we were classmates." Meng responds, "Since you didn't recognize me, I didn't think it was important to tell you." Later, Meng's classmate brings over another classmate, Neon, who angrily accuses Meng of bullying her friend and demands that Meng apologize. She starts talking trash about Meng, but Meng claps back, saying, "You're a mistress to some old man and you dare talk to me like this?" Neon fires back, "Look at you! You're so old and still unmarried. Who knows if anyone will ever marry you?" At that moment, Fuzheng steps in to defend Meng, preventing her from being bullied. This angers Neon, and she starts threatening Meng, saying, "I'll tell everyone about your mom." Neon is about to reveal that Meng is the daughter of a mistress, but Fuzheng interrupts, telling Neon, "Stop talking nonsense. You used to bully Neon during school time, and you are bullying her even today." Fuzheng's support gives Meng the confidence to demand an apology from Neon, and Neon finally apologizes and leaves. Later, Fuzheng says, "Both our families are pressuring us to get married, and since we're in the same situation, why don't we get married? We can figure out what to do next after that." Just as Meng is about to respond, Fuzheng receives a call and tells her, "Take your time and think it over," before leaving. Meng is overjoyed that Fuzheng himself is proposing. Later, while they are at work, Meng is guiding Fuzheng during his flight. Afterward, when she steps outside the office, she sees Fuzheng waiting for her. He offers, "I'll drive you home." Meng is nervous but secretly thrilled at the prospect of marrying him. At home, Meng finally agreeing to marry him. The next day, they collect their marriage certificate. When Fuzheng takes Meng to his house, he says, "If you're okay with sharing the room, I have no problem." Meng, feeling nervous, says, "I'll sleep in the guest room." Fuzheng finds it odd and asks, "Do you hate me?" Meng replies, "No, it's not like that." Fuzheng insists, "If I let my wife sleep in the guest room, what will people think of me?" He adds, "If you change your mind later, call me," which makes Meng happy. Soon, Meng's mom calls to congratulate her. "Finally, you're married." Later, Meng's father finds out about the marriage and calls her mom, who angrily responds, "Don't call me anymore. Now that we're divorced, there's nothing to discuss." On the other hand, Meng's stepsister Yangshi and her mother are jealous of Meng's success. Yangshi's mom asks, "How's it going with pursuing Fuzheng?" Yangshi responds, "Fuzheng doesn't pay attention to me, but I'll make him mine." To humiliate Meng, Yangshi invites her to lunch and demands, "Apologize to Neon, or I'll tell everyone that you're the daughter of a mistress." Meng fires back, "My mom isn't a mistress. In fact, your mom changed your age to make it seem like my mom was the mistress." Yangshi mocks, "Do you remember how my mom kicked you and your mom out of the house?" This enrages Meng, and she throws milk at her. When Fuzheng arrives, Yangshi pretends to be the victim, saying, "Meng is bullying me." but she's shocked to see Fuzheng caring for Meng. Yangshi asks Fuzheng to have dinner together, but Meng says Fuzheng is busy tonight. Yangshi, confused, says, "Oh, you two must work together, so you know his schedule." Meng replies, "No, we live together." Yangshi assumes, "Oh, the company must have provided housing for you two." Meng clarifies, "Actually, we're husband and wife." Shocked, Yangshi asks Fuzheng, "Is Meng lying?" Fuzheng calmly responds, "No, she's my wife," and they leave together. Later, when they return home, Meng thanks him for his support that day, but Fuzheng says, "There's no need to thank me." He then invites her to dinner with his friends, saying, "Why don't you come with me?" When Meng changes her outfit, Fuzheng teases, "You're going to dinner dressed like that? Aren't you afraid I'll get jealous?" But Meng playfully says, "Let's go. We are getting late for dinner." Now, Fuzheng introduces Meng to his friends, saying, "This is my wife." One of Fuzheng's friends comments, "I'm a few years younger than Fuzheng, so can I call you sister-in-law?" But Fuzheng refuses, saying, "Don't treat her that way." Just then, Fuzheng gets a call and steps outside to attend to it. Fuzheng's friend, who had heard from Yangshi that Meng is the daughter of a mistress, starts making snide comments. "How did Fuzheng choose you?" Meng responds, "Who do you think he should have chosen?" The friend answers, "Of course, Yangshi. She's known Fuzheng since their school days, and their families are business partners. But you've stolen her identity." Meng fires back, "I didn't steal her identity. Yangshi stole mine and spread false rumors that I'm a mistress's daughter. But in reality, Yangshi is the daughter of a mistress." Fuzheng overhears this and gets angry at his friend, saying, "Apologize to Meng." Reluctantly, the friend apologizes. Meng feels bad, but Fuzheng reassures her, "You don't need to feel burdened by this." Meng then says to the friend, "Okay, I forgive you," and deliberately makes him drink more than he wants to. With no choice, the friend drinks it. Fuzheng asks another friend to look after him and leaves with Meng. Meng asks, "Will this end your friendship?" Fuzheng replies, "Don't worry, he'll understand." She then asks, "Did you and Yangshi really know each other from school?" Fuzheng explains, "Since school, Yangshi's mom has maintained a good relationship with my mom, but I didn't know they had such intentions." Meng feels jealous on this. Fuzheng comments, "You were bold enough to speak up in front of my friends, but why are you always so nervous around me?" Meng thinks to herself, "Because I loves you." Fuzheng, noticing her nervousness, moves closer and leans in to kiss her. She quickly excuses herself, saying, "I need to go to the bathroom," and runs away. The next morning, as Fuzheng is about to leave for work, he considers saying bye to Meng, but decides not to disturb her while she's asleep and leaves. Later, when Meng realizes he left without saying anything, she thinks, "After all, we're just roommates, and maybe Fuzheng actually likes Yangshi, so why would he tell me anything?" At work, her senior mentions, "The weather isn't looking great today," but Meng confidently replies, "Don't worry, I'll handle everything just fine." Meng gives her 100% effort guiding Fuzheng, impressing her senior. Meanwhile, Fuzheng's friend praises her, saying, "The approach controller was excellent, that's why we could land smoothly in such weather." Yangshi, who is also on the same flight as a flight attendant, tries to talk to Fuzheng, but he ignores her. Later, while Ming is waiting for Fuzheng, Yangshi shows up and starts showing off, saying, "Fuzheng and I were on the same flight today." She adds, "Fuzheng doesn't love you. He'll get bored of you soon." Fuzheng overhears this and responds, "How would you know when I'll get bored of Meng?" Yangshi retorts, "Meng doesn't deserve you. If we got married, we'd be a power couple." Fuzheng tells her, "Stop talking nonsense. I'm not interested in you at all." Hearing this makes Meng laugh, which infuriates Yangshi. At home, Fuzheng thanks Meng, saying, "Thanks for guiding me today," and once again tries to get close to her. She quickly uses the excuse of wanting to watch TV. Later, when Fuzheng comes back, he sees that Meng has fallen asleep on the couch while watching TV, so he covers her with his coat. Soon after, Meng receives a message from her senior, inviting her to dinner the next day. Fuzheng feels a pang of jealousy, thinking, "My wife is so popular." The next morning, when Meng wakes up, she checks her phone and sees a message, but thinking it's a wrong number, she ignores it and then apologizes to her senior for not being able to make it to dinner. Actually, that message was from Fuzheng, and he's frustrated, wondering why Meng didn't respond. Later that night, Meng is watching a horror movie when Fuzheng comes in. Seeing his shadow, she gets scared, and realizing it's him, she hugs him out of fear. Fuzheng, trying to be casual, asks, So who did you have dinner with tonight? Meng replies, I just ordered food at home. Fuzheng says, I thought you'd go out for dinner with someone. Meng asks, why are you acting so weird? Fuzheng then tells her to go to sleep and leaves. Meng's colleague informs her that their senior has invited the team to dinner. As Meng gets ready to go out, Fuzheng asks, are you going somewhere? Meng tells him, my senior invited us to dinner. The rest of my teammates are coming too. Feeling jealous, Fuzheng offers, should I drop you off? But Meng says, no need. My senior is picking me up. Unable to contain his jealousy, Fuzheng asks, where's the restaurant? After dinner, Meng's colleague comments, your senior seems to care about you a lot. When the senior offers to drop Meng home, she spots Fuzheng waiting outside and happily walks over to him. You're here, she says, surprised. How did you get here? Fuzheng makes an excuse. I was just having dinner with a friend nearby. Meng replies, you asked about the restaurant earlier, so I thought you came just for me. Fuzheng asks, who was that guy? Meng explains, he's my supervising director, and praises her senior, making Fuzheng even more jealous. You admire your senior quite a lot, he says. Meng notices and asks, you don't look happy. Are you jealous because of my senior? Fuzheng denies it. It's not that. In her mind, Meng thinks, he doesn't even like me, so why would he be jealous? But it was obvious Fuzheng was jealous, so he asks, do your coworkers know about our marriage? Meng replies, not yet, which disappoints him. Unable to hold back, Fuzheng says, I think your senior likes you. That's why he cares so much. Meng denies it. That's not true. As Fuzheng leans in to kiss her, Meng feels awkward and makes an excuse to run away. Later, Meng's dad calls and she says, Mom and you are divorced, so why are you calling me? Meng's father had always ignored her. Even now, influenced by his second wife, he tells her to quit her job. When Fuzheng finds out, he talks to her father and says, yes, I did marry Meng, and from now on, I won't let anyone hurt her. He ends the call. Meng thanks him, but Fuzheng replies, there's no need for thank you between us. He reassures her not to worry about anything. Soon, Fuzheng buys Meng an expensive ring. When Yangxi sees this, she gets jealous. After this, she goes to Meng and starts bullying her. Meng avoids her and starts leaving from there, but Yangxi tries to stop her by holding her hand. Then Yangxi's ring falls down and Yangxi blames Meng for this. Yangxi demands that Meng either compensate her or kneel and apologize. But Meng, seeing through her plan, refuses to compensate. When Fuzheng arrives, Yangxi complains, and Fuzheng is ready to pay for the ring, but Meng stops him. I know you two framed me, she says, showing them the CCTV footage. Realizing they're caught, Yangxi and her friend leave in fear. Afterward, Fuzheng presents the ring to Meng, apologizing. I'm sorry we got married, but I never gave you a ring. Meng, seeing the ring, is overjoyed. Soon after, Fuzheng's mom calls, saying she and Meng's mom are coming to visit. Meng panics, worried they'll find out she and Fuzheng sleep in separate rooms. Fuzheng quickly tells her, let's go home, and they rearrange the room to make it look like they share it. When the moms arrive, they snoop around to check on the couple's relationship. Satisfied that Ming and Fuzheng are doing well, they leave, saying they don't want to disturb the lovebirds. After they leave, Fuzheng reassures Ming, don't worry. That night, Ming tells him, you should sleep in the same room with me. Fuzheng asks, are you sure? Meng replies, we're married, so we should live together. Though she said it, Meng still feels a bit nervous. Fuzheng joins her in bed, and seeing how nervous she is, says, don't worry, I won't do anything until you're ready. Meng jokes, actually, I'm more worried I might do something to you. Fuzheng, confused, asks, what do you mean? Meng replies, it's better if you don't know. Fuzheng says, now, I'm really curious. The next morning, Fuzheng mentions, the weather's not looking great today, so I might need to stay out. Meng wishes him, good luck, and when Fuzheng goes to kiss her, he notices she's nervous, so he leaves without saying anything. Later, Meng gets a call from her friend Jun, who's just returned from abroad. Seeing him after so long makes her very happy. Jun's dad had dated Meng's mom, and they were supposed to get married, but Jun's father passed away, so Jun never became Meng's stepbrother. Since then, they've been good friends. Jun tells her, you and Aunt are very important to me. Meng replies, you're important to me too. It's clear Jun has feelings for Meng, but he notices the ring on her finger. Meng explains, I'm married now, which makes Jun sad. She adds, my husband used to be my classmate, and I'll introduce you to him soon. Jun gets a message from Meng's mom inviting them to dinner, so Jun suggests they go together. After dinner, Jun drops Meng off at home, where Fuzheng sees them. He asks, is that guy your friend? Meng says, yes, it's a long story, let's talk inside. Inside, Fuzheng asks, So, you were going to tell me the long story? Meng explains. He's my mom's ex-boyfriend's son, and he's also a pilot, but he doesn't live in this city. We went to dinner with my mom, so he was just dropping me off. Jealous, Fuzheng asks. Is he that important to you? Meng clarifies. If my mom and his dad had married, he would have been my brother. So I think of him as one. Still feeling jealous, Fuzheng tells her it's late and suggests she rest. The next morning, Meng gently touches Fuzheng while he's awake. He asks, "What are you trying to do?" Meng nervously says, "Nothing." Fuzheng smirks. "I caught you red-handed." Meng, after a pause, confesses, "Actually, you're so handsome, I couldn't help it." Fuzheng replies, "Touching me is your right, so go ahead and touch me more if you want." Meng, feeling extremely awkward, quickly makes an excuse and runs away. Then, Yangshi comes to talk to Fuzheng and his friend starts teasing him saying, "You're very popular with girls." Yangshi pretends to apologize for yesterday's mistake to make herself look good in Fuzheng's eyes, but Fuzheng ignores her and walks away. Later, Fuzheng's friend arrives, and Yangshi acts like a misunderstanding happened between her and Fuzheng because of someone else. So she asks Fuzheng's friend, "Please say something nice about me to him." Meanwhile, Meng is guiding both Fuzheng and Jun, and since they were both in the same direction, Meng guides Jun first, which makes Fuzheng jealous and ruins his mood. To add to it, Fuzheng's friend tells a flight attendant, "I'm sure something's going on between the approach controller and Captain Jun, because Meng had guided Jun first." Hearing this makes Fuzheng even more upset. Fuzheng comes to pick up Meng, and she notices he seems a little bothered. Fuzheng asks, "Was that other Captain Jun that you were guiding?" Meng replies, "Yes, actually Jun was right behind you, so I guided you both together." Fuzheng says, "Everyone was calling me lucky, but really Jun is the lucky one." Meng realizes that Fuzheng is jealous, so she says, "Jun is just a friend to me, but you're different." Fuzheng asks, "How am I different?" Meng replies, "You're my husband, and you're special to me." Hearing this makes Fuzheng very happy, and he says, "Always remember that." Meng falls asleep in the car, so Fuzheng carries her to the bedroom. Suddenly, Meng wakes up, and as Fuzheng tells her to rest and is about to leave, Meng stops him, and they kiss. Meng says, "You carried me from outside, so I wanted to thank you." Fuzheng replies, "Your way of saying thank you is a bit unusual, so I'll accept it." But Meng feels very embarrassed. Later, Fuzheng goes to dinner with his friends, and they start teasing him again, saying, "A lot of girls have liked you since school, and why did you choose Meng?" Fuzheng tells them, "Stop talking nonsense," and his friend says, "I was just asking." Then he asks Meng, "Did you marry Fuzheng because you liked him or just for his money?" Fuzheng gets angry and gives him a final warning before walking away. Back home, Fuzheng asks Meng about her school days and says, "All I know is that Yangshi used to tease you." Meng replies, "Even after you went abroad, she still teased me." Yangshi used to say, "I know you like Fuzheng, but do you think someone as ugly as you will be liked by him?" So today, Meng tells Fuzheng, "I used to think that if I had met you earlier, you wouldn't have liked me." Fuzheng says, "What are you talking about? Maybe you don't realize how special you are, so stop underestimating yourself." Later, Meng wakes up and sees Fuzheng taking a shower. She asks, "You usually shower before bed, right?" Fuzheng says, "You don't know why I did it this time?" Meng had no idea. It turns out, in her sleep, Meng had called out Fuzheng's name, taken off her clothes, and tightly held on to him while sleeping. Fuzheng had gently freed himself and said, "Be ready to pay the price for this." Later, Meng notices bite marks on him and realizes she bit Fuzheng. Feeling extremely embarrassed, she makes an excuse and leaves. Later, at work, Fuzheng is in a great mood because of Meng, which surprises his friend, who wonders why he's so happy. Meanwhile, Meng is with her senior, who praises her for doing a great job. He notices her ring and asks, "Are you married?" Meng replies, "Yes." Her senior liked Meng, so he congratulates her with a heavy heart. Soon after, Fuzheng arrives to pick her up. Seeing Meng's senior, Fuzheng deliberately pulls Meng closer and says to the senior, "I heard you take great care of my wife. Thank you." As Fuzheng starts to leave with Meng, her senior stops him and says, "Meng is a great girl. I hope you take good care of her." Fuzheng replies, "You don't need to worry so much. Meng is my wife, and I know how to take care of her," and leaves with Meng. Later, Meng notices that Fuzheng seems upset. Fuzheng says, "You said your senior isn't interested in you." Meng says, "I've already told him we're married. Are you still jealous?" Fuzheng replies, "Why would I be jealous?" Meng kisses him and says, "Please don't be jealous." Fuzheng says, "Oh, so you're trying to comfort me." Meng says, "I just don't want you to be jealous." Fuzheng says, "One kiss isn't enough for me." So when Meng goes to kiss him again, Fuzheng starts kissing her instead. The next day, Meng is blushing while thinking about the kiss. Her co-workers see her ring and ask, are you married? Meng replies, yes, but one of her coworkers says, you stole your sister's husband. Meng tells her, stop talking nonsense. But then, influenced by Yang Shi, Fu Zheng's friend says, you're the daughter of a mistress. The girl challenges Meng, if your mother wasn't a mistress, prove it. Meng feels like crying because she doesn't have any evidence due to Yang Shi's mother. Soon after, Yang Shi arrives and says, I have proof that I'm older than you and that you're the daughter of a mistress. She then tells everyone, Meng stole my husband. Meng responds, Fu Zheng is my husband. Yang Shi calls her a liar. Soon, Fu Zheng's mother arrives, and Yang Shi acts nice. But Fu Zheng's mother announces, I came to meet my daughter-in-law. And Yang Shi confidently says, tell everyone that my mother came to you with a proposal for my marriage to Fu Zheng. Fu Zheng's mother replies, I rejected your mother's proposal long ago, and neither I nor Fu Zheng have any interest in making you our daughter-in-law. She tells everyone, Meng is my daughter-in-law. She then tells Yang Shi, I know that you and your mother are only after my money, and now everyone knows the truth. Fu Zheng's friend, angry at Yang Shi, says, you used me, and apologizes to Meng before leaving. Meng asks Yang Shi, how are you going to apologize to me? She instructs Yang Shi, write I'm sorry Meng on a board and stand outside the office. Out of fear of Fu Zheng's mother, Yang Shi does it, and everyone laughs at her. Later, Fu Zheng learns everything that happened and apologizes, but Ming says, you don't need to apologize, and kisses him. June calls, and when Fu Zheng tries to stop her from answering, she says, it might be important, and picks up. June invites her to dinner the next day, and out of jealousy, Fu Zheng playfully bites her. Meng says, my mom is coming too, and Fu Zheng replies, I want to come with you as well. Meng reminds him, you have work tomorrow. Fu Zheng says, I'll cancel my flight, then adds, you don't want to take me with you? Meng laughs and says, it's not like that, you can come. Later, Meng meets Jun and explains, my mom couldn't make it. She notices that Fu Zheng hasn't arrived yet. Jun reaches to fix something in her hair, but before he can, Fu Zheng arrives and removes it, saying nothing. He also brings flowers for Meng. Meng introduces them, and Fu Zheng acts cold, intentionally getting close to Meng to show Jun that she's his. He says to Jun, I heard you're a pilot too. Jun responds, yes. It turns out that Meng once told Jun, I like someone who's going to be a pilot, but he's far away. Since then, Jun had decided to become a pilot for Meng and had returned to China to confess his feelings. But now, he realizes that Meng only has feelings for Fu Zheng, and he can never take Fu Zheng's place. Fu Zheng says, I've heard you take extra good care of Meng, so thank you. Jun replies, Meng is like a sister to me, so I look after her. You don't need to thank me. Later at home, Meng talks about Jun, which makes Fu Zheng jealous. He says, I'm your husband, so tell me what you want. I'm ready to satisfy you. Meng jokingly asks, show me your abs. Fu Zheng lets her touch them and asks, how does it feel? Meng says, it's okay. Fu Zheng responds, just okay? Meng explains, I've never touched anyone's abs before, so I don't know what to say. Fu Zheng teases, so you want to touch them, don't you? Maybe Jun's? Meng quickly denies it. As Fu Zheng gets closer, noticing Meng's nervousness, he reminds her, remember before we got married, I said we'd take our relationship slow. You don't need to be nervous, and I won't touch you without your consent. Suddenly, Meng blurts out, we can't do anything without protection, and tells him, go buy some. Fu Zheng is surprised that she's ready to be intimate with him. Later, Meng reminds him, don't forget to buy it, and shyly goes into the room. The next day, after work, she wonders if Fu Zheng bought it and decides to check. When Fu Zheng enters the room, he asks, are you looking for something? Meng denies it, so Fu Zheng opens the wardrobe and shows her. Meng, shocked, says, you bought way too much. Fu Zheng explains, I wasn't sure which one was better, so I bought everything. Meng feels extremely embarrassed. In the next scene, Meng's grandmother is on her deathbed, and everyone is at the hospital. Before passing away, Meng's grandmother leaves all her property to Meng, which enrages Yang Shi's mother. She takes her anger out on her husband. Fu Zheng tells Meng, your grandmother loved you very much, which is why she left everything in your care. He then begins to romance her, asking, are you ready? Meng says, yes, and they become intimate with her consent. The next day, Meng wakes up early and Fu Zheng jokes, maybe I didn't perform well enough last night, that's why you woke up so early, and tries to get intimate again, but Meng stops him. That day, the weather isn't great. Fu Zheng tells Meng, I have a flight to London tomorrow, and I'll miss you so much. Meng then goes to write about him in her secret diary, but when Fu Zheng enters the room, she quickly hides it. Fu Zheng notices and asks, what's in the diary? But Meng kisses him to distract him. Later, Fu Zheng calls and says, my flight is cancelled, so I am not coming tonight. which makes Meng sad. However, Fuzheng was only teasing, and he surprises her by appearing behind her, kissing her lovingly. Meng becomes emotional seeing him, and they spend the night together again. The next day, Meng tells Fuzheng, both our moms are going on a camping trip, and they think about spending time with them. While camping, Fuzheng overhears their moms talking about how Meng had a crush on someone since school and refused to marry anyone else because of it. Meng's mom reveals, Meng's crush was actually Fuzheng, and I'm so happy they ended up married. However, Fuzheng misses the part about Meng's crush being him, which makes him a bit jealous. In his jealousy, he starts kissing Meng, but their moms arrive, and Meng pushes him away. So, both of them had come home. Fuzheng notices her chatting on her phone and asks, "Who are you talking to?" Meng replies, "It's a girls' group," and refuses to let him see it. Fuzheng teases, "You're probably talking to a guy." Meng insists, "I'm not." Curious about Meng's crush, Fuzheng slyly asks, "Did you ever have a crush in college?" Meng says, "No, I didn't have time for that." Fuzheng says, "I know you were really into your studies, even back in school." Meng then asks, "Did you ever like a girl?" And Fuzheng responds, "Absolutely not. I was so focused on my studies abroad that I didn't have time to date." Meng comments, "We're pretty much the same," and then reminds him, "You have to go to work." Fuzheng reassures her, "Don't worry," and kisses her, leading to them getting intimate. In the next scene, Yangshi gathers Fuzheng's friends and tells Ming, "You're not that important to Fuzheng." Neon also starts talking badly about Ming, to which Ming responds, "I brought a gift for you." At that moment, a woman, whose husband Neon had been involved with, shows up and angrily confronts Neon. Yangshi doesn't help her friend, which makes Neon furious. Yangshi then tells Ming, "It's time for you to learn a lesson." But Ming has all the evidence showing how Yangshi's age was altered, and that Yangshi is actually the daughter of a mistress. Yangshi accuses Ming of framing her, but Fuzheng's friend defends Ming, saying, "She conducted a proper investigation and the evidence can't be fake." Soon after, Meng's father arrives, and it turns out Fuzheng had bankrupted his company because he had hurt Meng. Her father apologizes, "I'm sorry for cheating on your mother," but Meng sees through his act and refuses to help him. Yangshi's mother then arrives, explaining, "Your father wants a divorce." Yangshi gets angry at her mom for lying all these years and yells, "I'm furious that I'm the daughter of a mistress." Yangshi later tells her dad, Fuzheng doesn't love Meng, so she can't save the Shu family. But Fuzheng interrupts, saying, "Who said that?" and tightly hugs Meng, telling her, "Trust me, I only love you. These are all just rumors." Meng is still slightly upset, so Fuzheng, to prove his love, kisses her in front of everyone and declares, "No one can stop the Shu family from going bankrupt." Meng's father becomes very worried and tells Yangshi's mother, "You were so eager to become Mrs. Shu. Now you and Yangshi can handle the family debts." Both are left distressed. Now, Fuzheng is planning his wedding with Meng when she tells him, "Jun wants to meet me." Fuzheng, feeling jealous, refuses to let her go, but Meng reassures him, "You can come along." Together, they meet Jun, who's returning abroad and wishes them a happy life. Jun, wanting to talk to Fuzheng privately, asks Meng, "Can you leave the room for a moment?" Jun admits, "I thought if I became a great pilot, Meng would like me." Fuzheng replies, "You were overthinking it. Meng only loves me." Jun concedes, "Yeah, maybe I was, but you might not know Meng has had a serious crush on someone. If you knew, you wouldn't be so confident that Meng only loves you." Later, Fuzheng, feeling jealous, acts strangely, prompting Meng to ask, "Why have you been acting so weird lately?" Fuzheng says, "Do you want to know why I'm behaving this way?" Meng says, "Yes," but Fuzheng teases, "I'm not gonna tell you. Go to sleep." Meng hugs him and falls asleep, while Fuzheng thinks to himself, "Even if you liked someone else before, now you're only mine and I'm yours." Later, Fuzheng takes Meng to a special place and properly proposes to her, making Meng emotional as it had always been her dream for him to propose. Fuzheng kisses her lovingly, and Meng is over the moon with happiness. Both are thrilled that their wedding is happening soon. Meng's mom calls, telling her, "Our neighbors will be attending the wedding." Meng gets excited, saying, "My childhood friend will be there." Fuzheng jokingly asks, "Now that your friend's coming, will you divorce me?" Meng is shocked and asks, "How did you find out about my crush? Did you read my diary?" Fuzheng denies it. Meng teases, "You look so cute when you cry." Fuzheng asks, "Am I disgusting you?" But Meng kisses him and reassures him, "Not at all. You look adorable." Fuzheng, getting emotional, kisses her again. Later, Fuzheng asks, "Is your crush more handsome than me?" Meng playfully says, "Yeah, he is pretty handsome." Jealous, Fu Zheng kisses her and says, "I'm your husband, so you'll only like me." He then asks, "Okay, tell me, who's better, me or your crush?" Before Meng can answer, Fu Zheng says, "Never mind, I'll prove with my actions that I'm better." Meng, not wanting to trouble Fu Zheng, says, "I don't have a crush," and tells him, "I'll explain everything later at home." Fu Zheng insists, "Tell me now." But Meng offers, "You can read my diary." Fu Zheng, wanting to hear it from her, agrees to wait until the evening. As both of them are at work, an engine problem arises on the plane, and they must land it somehow. Meng gives her best guidance, but the situation gets worse and the passengers start panicking. Fu Zheng promises, "I'll get everyone to safety." Though terrified, Meng continues to guide him, and Fu Zheng successfully lands the plane. Ming, deeply shaken, runs and hugs him tightly when he arrives, while Fu Zheng's friend teases, "You really scared everyone." Fu Zheng, in front of everyone, purposely kisses Ming. Back at home, Fu Zheng asks, "Tell me about your crush." Meng suggests, "You should rest instead." Still curious, Fu Zheng finally learns that her crush has always been him. At first he thinks she's joking, but then realizes he was jealous for no reason. Meng tells him, "I've written everything in my diary. You can read it." Fu Zheng asks, "Why did you like me?" Meng replies, "Because you brought light into my life. You're very important to me, and I was so scared today. If something had happened to you, I don't know what I'd do." Fu Zheng promises her, "Nothing will ever happen to me, and I'll always come back to you safely." Later, Fu Zheng reads her diary, where Meng wrote about how much she liked him, how he always protected her from bullies, and how she became an approach controller because of him, hoping they'd meet again in the future. Reading all this makes Fu Zheng emotional. He rushes to Meng, kisses her, and apologizes. "I'm sorry for not realizing how important I was to you." Meng tells him, "Please love me a lot because I've only ever loved you, and there's no one else for me." Fu Zheng kisses her again, and with their wedding approaching, everyone is happy for them. After the wedding ceremony, Fu Zheng lovingly kisses her, and that's the happy ending to their story. So, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments how you liked this story, and until next time, bye-bye and take care.